Welcome back to another episode of Raspberry Lemonade. We have another special guest. We always have special guests on this show. Welcome to the show, Nestor. And remind me your last name. Is it Gutierrez? Okay. My memory is getting better. I've been working on remembering people's names. How you doing today, man?
Doing great. And once again, thank you for the invite, man. I really appreciate being on your podcast, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. No, quite the contrary. Thank you for coming on. We had a chance to kind of chat it up a little bit over the phone, get to know each other, at least our faces.
Yeah.
First time meeting each other in person.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to ask you a bit of a curveball question here that I've never asked any guest. It's our first time meeting in person.
Yes. Yeah.
What are your initial impressions of myself?
You're very, you can say educated just by the way you dress.
Oh,
You're very formal. I think you seem like very, very smart. And I just like the energy. I like the vibe. So, that's just what I feel from you.
Okay. I should ask that question more often. But okay, man. No, thank you. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I wore the right shirt then, for sure. But let's get right into it, man. We're here to talk about you and not myself today. Tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, all that stuff.
Okay. So the business I'm in currently is Rancho Express Loop. It's in the automotive industry. It's auto repair shop. So we pretty much do everything. I started working there in 2016 as an employee. I was a loop technician. And from there, I was working for 4 years. Got the opportunity to buy the business during COVID, hard times. And now I've been in business for more than 4 years. So it's been wonderful. Now I'm opening more business ventures in other industries as well. I just want to make sure there's more flows of income as well. I don't want to have just one source. So that's been my main thing. And I've invested a lot of money with coaching. So that's what I'm learning from the coaching that I've been receiving. Always just expand, and make sure that, in the next 15, 20 years, I'm in a whole different position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So automotive, is that as far as, I kind of, looked you up a little bit, but is that like all sorts of repair? Do you stay specific like to one type of car or?
So when I first started working for the business, I was just a loop technician. All they did was just oil changes and just like Asian and American cars, no Europeans. So I started seeing things that like the business was losing money because we weren't working on Europeans. The technicians didn't want to touch anything else. They didn't want to do brakes. They didn't want to do anything else. But I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are we turning down so much stuff?
The business is at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
it's a lot of business. So I talked to the owner and I was like, hey, there's a lot of things happening. I don't know if you realize, but I think that if we don't have people that are capable of doing those services, I think we should either train them or we should bring in people that do know how to do that because, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So that kind of opened up his eyes. So we started making changes here and there. And then the year before I got the business, that's when I told them, hey, we need more equipment. We gotta start doing bigger repairs. I'm getting more calls about certain things, so we need to make sure that we have the equipment for that. So it worked out because he spent a lot of money before I bought the business, and it wasn't even in the books yet. So I was just like thinking more ahead of time for him.
Yeah.
Just because I was seeing so many things I wanted him to be aware of. So it worked out for me.
At the end.
At the end of the day, but now, yeah, we do everything. The only things that we don't really do is like engine repairs or like trans repairs. But everything else we do like all kinds of vehicles, Asian, European, American. We literally just had a Rolls Royce yesterday for a service.
Oh, wow.
We get all kinds of cars. And that has gotten to a level like that because of the social media, the posting that I do. So when people see that, hey, they do have a nice car in their base, that makes them feel a little bit more comfortable that maybe they can bring theirs and kind of give us a shot. And they like it. And it's a word to mouth. And that's how I've been getting those. So that's how I get those high-end luxury cars. But yeah, we do suspension, preventative maintenance, tires, pretty much anything electrical, anything that's not engine repair or trans repair.
Right on. And I'm going to have to put a little pause on that real quick because you mentioned something very important. A lot of business owners, I still meet business owners that they're like, oh, I know I should be on social media posting stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
I would have never even thought of that angle of like, okay, I'm trying to attract a certain clientele that has like a higher end vehicle.
Yeah.
if they see that high-end vehicle on my feed, that'll give them more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's genius. Like, I didn't even think about that, but I think that's a good thing that people who are either just starting out or
Mm-hmm.
have been in business for a
Mm-hmm.
while, they need to take advantage of video,
Yeah,
right?
I think honestly, I saw the trend the first time, like when I took over the business, my former boss, good friend to this day, he would put a lot of money in marketing into like Yelp and Google Ads, which was good. But then I started seeing a transition, on social media, more reels and posts and stuff like that. So when I got the business, I remember the first time I had the keys. I was officially the owner. The first day I put a picture of the shop and started posting a little bit more. So I started creating more followers and likes. But to be honest, at that time I was getting discouraged because I only had like 200 followers, like 2 or 3 likes here and there, and it was
Yeah.
like this is not working. I gotta make sure I go back to Yelp and Google Ads because I know that works.
Mm.
So I started throwing more money at it, but then I'm like, what could it be if I just start posting more? I'm still gonna be putting more money over there, but I'm gonna make it a habit of just posting more content on social media and see where it takes us. And I remember that one time, the first time we got like a nice car, it was like a Corvette Z06, and I posted it, and then like it got a lot of likes and shares,
Mm.
and then I started seeing a little bit of more like nice cars come in, and since we always ask where do you find us, and they're like, oh, we saw you on Instagram. I'm like, okay, I need to put more
Oh.
attention to Instagram. So then I see that right now, honestly, like 40-50% of my business comes from Instagram. So that's why I stay on Instagram. I post a lot of reels. I post as much as I can. I post at least 3 to 4 stories a day. On posts, I try to post at least once a day, and that keeps my views high. And the way I do social media for the shop, one, no one's doing anything for automotive.
Mm.
Two, I'm making educational videos. I'm not going on there and I'm not like, hey, come to us and we'll give you $15 off. I'm not doing promos like that.
Right.
I'm just doing information because what I want at the end of the day is for people to trust me.
Yeah.
So if I show you how to do your own oil change and you're following for more tips, and I show you how to do other stuff, the filter replacement and so many things, but then when you get kind of to a corner where you don't know how to do it, you don't have the tools, what's going to happen is chances are you're most likely going to come to me because I've helped you save a lot of money by teaching you so many services. So now what's going to happen, at some point, you're going to need tires, you're going to need other stuff. So
There you
it
go.
builds a relationship, and then you're going to come to me and do the services.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it like that, because I don't like one-time customers. And that's normally what happens when you do a coupon,
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be here with a relationship, and I want them to be bringing their cars to me for the rest of their lives. That's what I look for, So the way I do social media is like that. Just information as much as I can.
That's smart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take some of that myself. Like, I've been trying to. It's funny because I'm in the like the video business,
Uh-huh.
but when it comes to social media specifically, like, I know how to make a good video,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't always necessarily translate to a good video for social media.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And you know why? I just learned that recently with one of my mentors, Albert Preciado. He has a big team that they do all their content, videographers. So they're not normally the ones that they shoot the content, they edit and whatnot. But then they started running ads, and yeah, it was running all right. But then when they started seeing how much was going to the ads and the return of investment, it wasn't the best. So that's when he's like, you know what, we gotta start seeing better options. I think at the end of the day, it's because the videographer doesn't mean that they're gonna be good at shooting the content, editing the content, and still running an ad. Sometimes they're just gonna be good maybe at recording or just editing. It's hard to kind of have the whole bundle.
Right.
So now he brought on more people to his team that are just specialists in social media marketing. So now they just get the content and they edit it, and the team talks to each other, and now they're looking for hooks, and like it's made everything much better and more a bigger return of investment. That's
Yeah.
what he's looking for. So when we talk about that, I mean, sometimes, I thought at the end of the day that as long as I'm posting content and I'm editing it myself, like, we're gonna be fine. But I wasn't getting results, right? So I bought a package with someone for a whole year, to do content, and we started doing the content, and then he started editing it, and he started posting for me. And I'm like, damn, I like this because it's way easier. I don't have to be spending time trying to find the caption, the
Right.
hashtags. Like, I would spend literally like sometimes 30 to an hour
Mm-hmm.
just trying to find the right song. That, like, it's just time consuming, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? That's one of the things I gotta delegate. So I started delegating that, and that way I can focus on the things that I know I'm good at, you know. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, man, I would love to get more into that topic because obviously, you know, we're in that space.
Yeah.
We're kind of experimenting with something new right now.
Okay.
And actually, I think you're the first one that I actually tell this to. But there's I only see two ways of going about your social media.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways is like you're saying, kind of creating that relationship with
Mm-hmm.
the viewer
Yeah.
by sharing value, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Or on the personal branding side, where you
Mm-hmm.
just like you are the niche,
Yeah.
right? You talk
Yeah.
about what you want to talk about, and that's gonna eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to be a longer process, but at least you do in the long run attract the people who connect with you at a deeper level,
Yeah.
rather than just, you know, kind of what you do for business or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're in that transition with my company where for our clients and even for myself on my own page, I want to do more content that I guess we'll say more proud of
Mm-hmm.
putting out there,
Mm-hmm.
like talking about things that actually matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
We've started, you know, to see some pretty good results. I think in like the first post that we did in that style of more kind of vulnerable, more just more real at the end of the
Yeah.
day. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot more engagement. It wasn't a viral video.
Yeah. But then engagement didn't increase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll let you know how that goes.
Mhm.
And, you know,
That what you're saying right now, I think it's very important though, because I follow a couple people that they post content, but you can tell it doesn't feel right. It don't it doesn't really tell me that they're being genuine. You can tell, like you mentioned, you know, like there's topics that sometimes that we can be talking about just for a viral video, but when you're really you, like yourself, that's the content that normally goes viral, because the audience can see that.
yeah.
The audience can see the way you talk about it, the energy that you talk about it, and I think the more we keep it like to the topics that you mentioned that you want to talk about, I think the energy levels are gonna be way higher, and I think that's gonna make a bigger contact with the audience. I think that's the biggest thing when I look at that, because as a person that I'm looking at someone else's video and they're talking about something that I know at the end of the day that doesn't really interest them, it just doesn't. I can tell right away that it's not a good topic. You know, that they're trying it just for a viral video, and I think sorry, and I think that a lot of times what happens too is people try to get on social media just to go viral, but that's not really the purpose of social media. Yeah, if you get a viral video, I mean, things start getting better, but as long as you have a plan on the personal brand side, like, why do you need to go viral? Like, just for a TikTok? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, there's no point of going viral if there's no plan, no execution that you gotta do, that you know that you're doing it for a reason that's gonna make your brand better.
Yeah.
That's the way I think about it.
Vanity metrics, I think
Yeah.
Hormozy talks about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I've sent this podcast shit to so many people now where he talks about a very unique situation with this I think I forget what she was, but it's like a super niche, like nutritionist, billing something. I don't know what the heck she does.
Mm-hmm.
And she has like, at least up until then, she had like 6K followers, let's say.
Okay.
And as far as accounts go, like that's not super big.
Yeah, but
I'd
it's
say
all right.
it's fairly good.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, that's more than I have right now. But you know, in the grant, like looking at other people and within kind of her space, like it's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But with those 6K, she might get like, you know, 19 likes on a video. She
Mhm.
might get, what is it, 200 views or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, like she makes, according to that podcast, because I just listened to it again on the other day, she's bringing in profit
Mhm.
every year around $1 million profit.
Wow.
So that shows that, yeah, you could go like trying to make viral videos.
Yeah.
Or you could just actually do the content that you're trying to talk to the people you're trying to talk to. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, that's
Everything else is
100%.
vanity metrics.
Yep. I agree with you.
Well, enough of social media. Tell me a little bit more about your business as far as like the name. Did you kind of inherit the name from what it was, or
I did. So I did this because the business. So when I was working there, the former owner had acquired the business like 2 years prior to that. So they had already changed the name. So I'm like, if I change the name once again, then it's gonna mess with the clientele that we already have. They're gonna think like, well, what's up with all these changes? So I'm like, you know what? There's a clientele that we have already. I was a manager there, so people knew my face. I never went and announced like, "Hey, I'm the owner." I never did that, you know.
Smart.
But then people start seeing
They
that,
started catch on.
like they started seeing the social media. They started seeing me more involved in the community, and they're like, "Hey, did you buy this place?" I'm like, "I did." He's like, "Man, I'm so proud of you. Like, I remember that when you first started, you were a loop tech, you moved your way up." So I'm like, "That's so badass," you know. So there's people that I connect with just because. Being there for so long that they see my face all the time, and especially now on social media, like they're like, oh, you're the owner, right? And that it's good to make that connection. So I'm glad I didn't change the name for that reason, because I think that it would have affected the clientele more than anything, because it just me being a customer for someone else, when I hear sometimes let's say, changing ownership, what are my thoughts? I'm like, oh, service is probably going to change. Probably not going to be as good as it was before. So that was my thought, you know. I always, like, everything I do, I'm like kind of like the consumer before anything. I want to see how would my client think of this, like, you know. It helps me with a lot of decisions sometimes.
And I like that, getting into the shoes of your client or end customer. And because at the end of the day, that's who you're servicing.
Exactly.
Like, who cares how you feel about it?
Exactly. No, literally, that's how it is. I mean, I till this day, I'll still go, like, I'll enter the shop as a customer, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm a customer, I wouldn't really like that here. Like, I would just probably say something about this, and like I criticize my own self, my own business, like that.
We should sweep around here more often, right? Stuff like that.
Like things like, oh, like this is dirty. Like we should like clean up the carpet more. Like just things like that I would like just be on the lookout if I was sitting down there getting my car repaired or whatever, you know, on the times, like. I go like really deep in the nitty and the gritty. Like I want to make sure like I really stand out from everyone else in the area. Yeah.
I like that, man. But all right, man. What do you say we get now into the more personal side of the podcast? So tell me a little more about what little Nestor was like. What was he like? What was he up to?
Well, what ages are we talking about?
I mean, let's say like, actually, curious question. What's like the youngest memory that you have? Like, how old were you? Like the first memory that you have.
The first memory that comes to mind, I want to say moving from Mexico to the U.S. when I was 8.
When you were 8 years old?
Yeah.
The reason I ask is because I vaguely remember things from when I was like 4 or 5, but it's like very scattered.
Just little, And no, I agree with you. There's little like just like 5 second like just little snippets. I get what you mean.
So I'd say then probably from that age then. How was that move, and how did that, like, from that to like teenager? What were you like?
So before we moved over here, I didn't want to move over here because when I was over there in second grade, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm gonna miss all my friends. Like, what am I gonna do over there? I don't even know English. Like, I was just like, just didn't buy it, you know. Like, oh, it's for a better life. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like, this is good.
This
like,
is the life,
you know. Like,
where are you guys from?
Jalisco.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
¿Qué parte?
Cerca de Manzanillo, cerca de la costa.
Nice.
Se llama Barra Navidad. Está como 40 minutos.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
From how far is it from Guadalajara?
Guadalajara from there's probably like about 2 hours and a half.
Not too bad.
Atlan de Navarro.
Nice. My dad is from south of Guadalajara, near Zacualco de Torres. I don't know if that rings a bell. That's like the biggest pueblo out there.
No, it does not ring the bell.
Or like towards Santana.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyways,
So yeah, when we moved, I didn't want to move over here for the same reason that I didn't want to lose my friends, you know.
yeah.
So the first 2 months moving over here, they were hard because I mean I was going to school, had no friends. I know the language, I know English, so it was like
That must have been tough.
it was
And
really tough.
You
And
were like, you said like 8 years
I was
old?
8. I had to turn 8. I was like
Man.
8 in like 3 months, and it was super tough because I was just not used to that. You know, I was used to always playing and doing stuff. So I kind of like I felt like it changed me in a way that I would be that kid, like kind of like looking for open space just to go and chill by myself. I felt lonely, you know. So I remember like I would like cry here and there. I'm like, damn, like I told my mom, like, Mom, I don't like this, you know, like I want to go back.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, there's no going way back, you know. You're stuck here, you
sorry.
know.
Sorry, kid.
So it was a one-way flight. But at the end of the day, when she told me that, you know what, well, I gotta make the best out of it. And I think what really helped me was one of my parents' friends, their kid was going to the same school, even though she was older than me by 2 years. She's the one that kind of would like here and there, like between lunches, like he would come and talk to me and like kind of like show me around the school. Like he's, oh, you know, there's some kids that you can play around. You know, you don't need to really talk, just join and play. You know.
Yeah.
So when she told me that, like I started doing it, and like I started getting more comfortable, you can say. And I remember actually the first month, I won a student of the month.
The
The
first
first month, and I have it. It's still
That's
it's still my
crazy.
parents' house. It's still right there, the little award they gave me. And when I was lost. I'm like, what's up? What, like why are all the parents here? You know, like why are we in this room? Like it was just weird to me. And I see my parents. I'm like, dude, what the hell did I do? Like, because in Mexico, your parents go like you did something bad, you know.
Trouble, yeah.
And I see my parents. I'm like, dude, like what? Like I almost wanted to cry. I'm like, what the hell did I do? And I'm like, maybe I mean, because we were playing a sport. Like, did I kick a kid too hard? Like I was like, so many things started going to my head. You know, I'm like, what's going on? And then like my name's announced, and I'm like, I was just looking at the crowd, and everyone's clapping. I'm like, I don't have no clue what's going on. And the teacher's like, come, and I'm like, okay. And I just stood there, and then my parents come. I'm like, I didn't have no clue what was going on. And they give me that. It's like, I'll picture. And I'm like, what is this? And then the friend that would translate for me is like, oh, you won student of the month. I'm like, what did I do?
¿Qué es eso?
You know? And then she's like, the teacher just recognized, even though you don't know the language, your hard work that you've been putting, like, even though, like, you're not comfortable, you're still doing the homework, you're trying. And that's what she really, like, wanted to give you the trophy for. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, okay. I'm like, I guess, you know? So that year I won, like, three student of the months. And
Wow.
it was just like weird that first one. Like I thought it was in trouble.
Yeah.
But I remember like throughout the first half of the year, or school year, I would go home and I would just like before I would go to sleep, I would just like lay down and I just started like mumbling. I'm like, I'm wondering if I'm saying anything in English. I'm like, I was just like blah blah blah, and I'm like, I wonder if I said anything in English. And it was just like I wanted to learn the language so bad that I just started doing things like that. And you can a lot of people say I learned the language, I mean, at a pretty good fast rate, being the fact that I was already old enough that sometimes that could be a struggle.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still have an accent. I mean, maybe not as bad as it was before, but at the end of the day, the reading has helped me so much with words and so many things. But at the end of the day, the first move, the first couple months when we moved here was my toughest times. As time progressed, I think I started getting more used to being here in the U.S. So I grew up in the middle of nowhere, close to Lake Tahoe, if you know the area,
Yeah.
up north. And I mean, the town that I went to school was like 400 people.
Oh wow.
My high school class.
Well, that's why you got student of the month the first month.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
kidding.
Those 3 kids.
Yeah.
No, there was actually like around 15, 20 kids, but like throughout the years, like that was my class, like
Yeah.
20 kids or so. My class, we started like my freshman year, we started with like 28 kids and like only like 15 graduated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so a very small class.
Yeah.
But there's always been challenges throughout my whole life, you can say, like, but there's always been a way to find the solution. And no matter what, where we talk about like little Nestor, middle Nestor, Nestor now, like it's always the same outcome. Like, I'm really grateful for the way my parents raised me. I'm actually grateful for the things I've gone through for the same reason, because I don't think I'd be where I'm at now if I didn't. It like forced me to work harder. So when we were in when I was in middle school, I would see the money was tight, like kids would be like, oh yeah, we went to McDonald's over the weekend and I got a little toy, and I'm like, oh shit, that's nice. Like we stayed home and I ate frijoles,
Yeah.
like that must be nice, But
Those dang Happy Meals.
yeah, that was like the thing that like I envied from my little friends. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
this guy's so freaking lucky, Like I never really go to McDonald's or Burger King for a little toy, But it was the little things that like it made me appreciate the things that we had at the end of the day. And growing up, going into high school, I told myself, I'm like, you know what, I gotta start helping my dad with at least something, And I was playing sports, and I know like with sports, there's a lot of equipment, there's traveling,
yeah.
there's
The
expenses, and I'm like,
uniform.
it's,
Were you
it
playing?
adds up.
What sport were you
I
playing?
played every sport. I
Oh,
played
wow.
soccer, I played football, I played baseball, I played basketball. Yeah, I played every
A little
sport
bit
that
of
the school
everything.
had. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was really athletic. And when I was in middle school, I was really chunky. I actually probably weighed more in middle school than I weighed now. Like
Oh,
I was really
wow.
big. And going into freshman year, I started doing a sport that I didn't like, I didn't really care for, but I only joined because I didn't want to be like one of the few kids that stayed behind when there was a game day.
I see.
So it forced me to do it. At the time, I was doing soccer, so I was doing soccer and football at the same time. So I lost weight like really fast.
Yeah. So,
Starting like to enjoy the sports that I was playing, and like I actually became really good at it. And even then, I would still make time after practice to go around the neighborhood and just cut yards, mow the
oh,
lawns,
wow.
just to make sure, like, I would do math. I'm like, you know what, if I can cut at least like 2 or 3 yards this week, I'm like probably be like around $100. $100 for the month, $400 overall, and that $400 can all feed me for the trips when we go out to eat, and then like equipment here and there, and then at least my dad doesn't have to worry
Wow.
about this,
Yeah.
So that's what started planting the seeds, and I started doing that. And when I was a sophomore, my dad's mom passed away, so my dad had to go to Mexico for a month, and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm like, I had to be the man of the house. Like,
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
How many siblings do you
There's
have?
two more.
Okay.
At that age, I was a sophomore. My middle sister was probably like in 6th grade, and then the little one was probably like in 1st grade.
Wow.
So I'm like, my mom doesn't work. My dad's not here. I'm like, someone needs to move up. Gotta step it up,
Yeah.
So then I wasn't equipped baseball because it was in April when this happened, and the season had just started. And I'm like, damn, I feel terrible because I'm like, I don't want to quit something, but then my family's first, So I started going harder. I started like knocking more doors, more neighbors, and yeah, there's some that would say no, and then I just started working harder, And I remember that like my mission was like I need to make at least $200 this week, so we when my mom goes to the store, at least she has something to buy, like the dispensable, like water, milk, and eggs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and my mom started working like getting homes here and there to clean, and like we made it work. And at the end of the day, it was a blessing because my dad's boss, me and his son, we went to school together. We're in the same grade.
Okay.
And he saw me one day, and he's like, I have something for you. I have an envelope. And it was my dad's check. So he
Oh,
paid him the whole month,
wow.
even though he wasn't here. So it was a huge blessing,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what really, you can say the message behind this was when my dad came back from Mexico, he was like super proud of me. He's like, no one told you to do what you did. Like that like I think earned the biggest respect of him. So I think once again I didn't have to do it, but I told myself, like, if it's not me, then who's it gonna be?
Yeah. You took it upon yourself.
I took it upon myself, and I think it was a break point that really helped me open up my vision more towards the future. I mean, I was a sophomore, and that's when it started to hit me more. That I'm like, damn, dude, I'm an immigrant. I'm not gonna be able to go to school. What am I gonna do? Like, I gotta go work harder because if I do go to community college, probably gonna have to pay out of state tuition, or it's gonna be pretty expensive for the units, you know. So sure enough, you know, graduate over there. Since it's in the borderline of California and Nevada, if I wanted to go to school, I would probably have to pay out of state tuition to go to Nevada, and it would be kind of far from my parents, probably like 3-4 hours. Or could have gone to the Bay, but still far away. And I'm like, well, I'd rather come over here where I have family and I can make it work. And I did that.
Here
and
as in LA?
It's SoCal, yeah, as in SoCal. So I went to Chaffey College in Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, okay.
And it literally everything that has always happened in my life has always like been like I think about it like it's like it was just meant to be, you know.
Yeah.
Like when I moved over here, I didn't work for a year because I was so focused just on school. All the money that I saved up during the high school, I used it that first year. I got a lot of scholarships as well. I probably got like $12,000 in scholarships in high school, so that helped me big time as well. And I would always look for scholarships. Even when I moved to college, I would apply for scholarships, and most of the time I would get them because no one really would apply, you know. But I would always look for money like that not a lot of people were like really putting attention to, and it helped me big time. And I remember the time that I got out of school. So Rancho Cucamonga, it's right next to the mountain, and then Inland Empire, and then south is Ontario. That's where I was living with my uncle, and it's about a distance about 6-7 miles. It's close by. But that time I was leaving school, and there was a detour on one of the streets. I take the detour, and literally it's like God's telling me to turn left. I turn left, and that's where I see the shop that I ended up buying.
No way.
Yeah, and I look left, and I see now hiring. I go there. I take my shot. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here. I see that there's a hiring sign. But then the manager was kind of an asshole. He was racist. He's like, "Oh, we're not hiring." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Well, maybe you should take the sign down." And
did you actually?
No, I told him. I'm like, "Maybe you should take the sign down because that's why I came." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And as I was leaving, the owner was there, and he heard, and he's like, I can hear like them discussing. He's like, "Dude, like what the hell? Like you told me you need people."
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't think he's qualified." He's like, "Let me talk to him." And he took me in his office, and I told him, like, "Look, I don't have any experience. Like I worked with my dad in the agriculture, like with diesel. I know how it works, but I never really worked at a lube shop like this.
Yeah.
Just being honest with you. But I'm like, something that you can expect from me is I'm gonna show up on time. I'm a hard worker, and I'm not just gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you. So if you want to take a bet on me, like that's what I have to offer." And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna give you a shot."
Wow.
And he gave me the shot, but now it's like I said, we go to now, and it's like it's always been like it's God's plan, you know. Like it has
so
always
crazy.
worked out. Like that detour made me look at the shop where I ended up buying. Like who would have said that?
Many years later.
Many years later, I'd be an owner of the shop that like I had to take a detour, and that's why I saw it. Otherwise, I would have never saw it. And that day, I was actually talking to my dad. Like, you know what? I could probably find a job over here because it's getting harder on me. I'm like, I don't like asking for money from them because I already know like they're already so limited. So I don't want to put more stress on them. So being the only son, like in our family, is like it's like I can't. I'm not gonna be that kid that like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting for my daddy to send me money,
Right.
you know. So it really forced to really go out there and make things happen. And I think that's obviously one of the things you can say I earned the opportunities I get. I always go out there and knock on doors and just try to make it happen somehow.
I like that. That's a great reminder for me personally. And I'm gonna be like, this is a note for future Levi when he's listening to this. I gotta follow your example on that. I think right now one of the biggest hurdles that we've been coming across in the business is the lack of consistent leads. And hearing you tell your story right now, like that reminds me of like, okay, there's definitely something else that you can be doing. Like me personally, right? There's definitely something else that I could be doing. I could be making more phone calls, going to more businesses, talking to more people. So I'm glad we're having this conversation because I personally am benefiting.
No, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. What do you say
we move on to the next part?
Yeah. I think we're good.
Okay. Let's move on to the sweet and sour stories, right? So we're gonna start with the sour.
Okay.
Since starting, well, I guess maybe not starting, but I guess you could say since taking over this business, right? That now that it's yours, what's been like one of those really tough, challenging either moments or periods of time that you've gone through?
I want to say it was probably the first year of business. It started as never seen this much money in my account
Okay.
to like, ooh, let's go spend left and right. To a few months later, like, holy crap. Like, damn, how are we gonna
Where
make
did it all go?
where are we gonna make this happen now? You know, so
I got you.
like that happened, and like if that wasn't enough, I got a letter getting sued from a customer.
What?
I'm like, well, what is this? Like, I remember actually that we were in Mexico. We were in Mexico. It was the first time I had gone back in a long time, like in 8 years. And we were in Mexico, and my manager hits me with that. I'm like, dude, it screwed up my whole vacation. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Like tell me. And then, long story short,
yeah, I was gonna ask. I don't know how much you can share.
long story short, at the end of the day, the customer was blaming us for something that we never really did. And that's what at the end of the day, like it like kind of like made the situation better. I was just really nervous. I'm like, dude, like first year in business, I gotta show up to a court. Like, what the hell is gonna happen? You know, small court claims. I'm like, I was just like, I didn't know what to expect. Luckily, I had a friend that I had met recently from the Chamber of Commerce. He was the one guiding me like through things, and he's like, dude, you have all the information. You're good. Nothing's gonna happen. You just show up. Just show all the proof that you're telling me. You're good. Like the person that that's suing you, like they have a history. Like he did some research, and they had done like 10 cases the previous year.
I see.
So it just go after businesses, just trying to get money from them. Just on yeah. So you can say it was like a scam, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm like, how come that this is happening like 2 months after we serviced the car? Like, if something would have gone wrong, they would have been immediately, not 2 months, you know. So we started finding out so many things. He ended up like altering certain parts of the car to say that we were the last ones that we worked on, and it was just a whole deal that at the end of the day I showed up and yeah, like I won the case.
Yeah.
So that was one of the hardest moments, just because like at the time that I looked at the account and I'm like, damn, the account's not looking good, and then you get hit with that. I'm like, damn, dude, like this is not looking good at all, you know. So it was a really complicated time, but it really opened up my eyes more on the things that I needed to do more on the legal side. Put on my work orders, on the invoices, just like disclaimers,
cover
my bases, you know. So that was kind of like, you know what, this is actually a good notice for me, because it's gonna make me have less hiccups later down the road, you know. So that worked out.
Nice. So in the end, it ended up being a good thing, you could
say. Yeah. It worked out for me. Like it was good. Like but it wouldn't have been like that if I didn't have that backup of a lawyer that I had just met recently, and at the end of the day, he didn't charge me anything just because we're part of the chamber, we're members, and like he just wanted to help. So that was huge blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another good nugget for people out there, right?
Yep.
Join your chamber of commerce.
Yep.
Or I learned recently you could join several. I didn't know
you can join as many as you want.
Yeah.
You can join it like I don't think it was like that before, but things have changed, I believe. But you can join as many as you want. If you want to be part of a certain community, like all you gotta do is just pay the membership fee and then just attend the meetings. That's what it's about. But that right there has opened so many opportunities for me, for my business. It's crazy. And when I see like that worked in the local chamber, I started doing the same things like we were talking about earlier about going to events and like just expanding my network to like bigger and bigger and bigger. And like when I saw that, I'm like, this is gold right here. I gotta keep doing it more, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of events, later today, I think I asked you, or I meant to ask you, do you know who Nick Bias is?
Yes.
Are you going to his event later?
No, because I have my
Oh, that's right. You have your coaching call.
Yeah.
thing. Okay, never mind.
But that's where today Jonathan's gonna speak right there, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna surprise him. He doesn't know.
Oh, okay, that's good. It's gonna be in Rancho, I believe, right?
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, side the point. Yes, definitely networking events, masterminds, things like that. Getting into those, and you hear this all the time. I think like, get into the room.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like that is what's gonna potentially could change like your life. Really, like it
100%.
just takes one person.
One person, one connection, one contact that it just like opens all the doors you've been looking for, you know?
Exactly.
But that's the problem that people just hear what they want to hear. They hear like, oh, one connection, one contact, and they go and they just look around like, oh, I didn't get it. Like it's not like that.
Doesn't mean you just talk to one
Exactly. You
person.
know, you go there and you talk to as many people as you gotta talk to, but don't get discouraged if you talk to the 59th person and you're still not getting. It's a process. You know,
Yeah.
like as long as you're being real out there, you're making connections, you're forming relationships, they're gonna start coming. And they're gonna
Exactly.
start coming in abundance. Like it's gonna be crazy. It's like just out of nowhere, just opportunities thrown at you. You know, that's what
Exactly.
it's about.
Absolutely. And I've experienced that to a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes, man, I didn't think we were going here today, but sometimes I feel like I've been giving and I've been giving
Mm-hmm.
good, not expecting anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the key. I hear a lot of people
Oh
tell me
yeah, I'm the same
because
way on that.
right,
I'm the same way on that.
eventually I like the way you put it. Like eventually, you don't know a year, 2 years, 10 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
the seed that you planted 10 years
Yeah.
ago, it's gonna come back
Yep.
and like oh yeah, like I remember that time you did X Y
Yep.
Z for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what? The way I just think about it, I just think about it that whatever I'm not getting right now is because I don't deserve it. That's the way I look
Ooh,
at it.
that's it. Yeah,
And it's
good
like
perspective.
maybe I don't deserve it because I'm not working hard for it, or if I want to be more on the pretty side, I'm like, what do I need to learn to be in that opportunity? You know.
Or maybe you're
But
not ready for
yeah,
it.
exactly. So I'm like, I I learned to not really be a pessimist, be like, oh, it's not for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the entrepreneurship is not for me. I always go and find the door because I'm like, if Elon Musk was able to do it and Jeff Bezos was able to do it, like what the hell, I can do it too, you know. But like,
They're just
what's
men.
exactly, you know, what's the difference between them? Like how long did it take to form the business they're in?
Yeah.
Same thing for everyone in business, you know. Apple, it's a long process. So when we start getting into it, there's gonna be like entrepreneurship is just problems. That's what it means. It's problems. If you're good at problem solving, you're gonna be a good business owner.
Yeah.
You know, so as long if there's people that I talk to that, oh yeah, well, I want to become a business owner, I want to open up my business. Okay, great. Are you ready for the problems? Because I already know that you don't like problems. I know that you react in a bad way, and I think just save yourself a struggle and really identify really why you want the business.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times people want businesses because they want more money and they want more time.
Yeah.
That's kind of the wrong reasons because that's completely the opposite of what you get. If you want a business to grow, it takes a lot of time from you,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
You're the one that has to put out all the fires, you know.
The buck stops with you.
Exactly, you know. So if you're not ready for that, I mean, you can become very wealthy working for someone else as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just at the end of the day, what do you want? Don't get into something just because of money. I always talk about it. Like I'm not in business because of money. I really am not. I'm doing it because I have a passion for vehicles. And the passion that really grew inside of me was when going back to high school, we had a bad experience with my mom had a bad experience with a car. And I just didn't like the fact that I sound like that guy's just taking advantage of us. It just didn't feel right. I'm like, there's something that I want to do. I'm like, you know what? I want to help people with their cars, and I want to make sure that people don't get screwed like that. And like you mentioned, like I like giving, and sometimes I'm like, fuck, maybe I feel like I'm giving too much. People take advantage of me, but I never do stuff to expect anything in return.
There you go.
But what happens is like later is like, damn, dude, it's like do I deserve all these blessings? Like it gets to that point sometimes because it feels like I'm getting too much, you know.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because of the mentality that I never do something with a expectation of return. And a lot of people, that's where they screw up. They give you something and they're expecting something in return already. They're like, oh yeah, I know that he's gonna give me this, he's gonna give me
Right.
that, and that's not how you do it.
Right. 100%. Man.
Yeah.
You hit it on the nail. Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because yeah, sometimes it does feel like man, like it would be nice to get something back,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
then, like you said, sometimes out of nowhere, and a lot of times, like it's exactly when you need
The
it.
right timing.
Yes,
Yes.
that's when it ends up coming back.
Yep.
And tenfold.
Yep.
You know?
100%. And
So-
and I said like I said earlier, like it's just at the right time. Like God knows when the right time is, because sometimes, let's say, I didn't have the mentality that I have now, and if I was chasing the money 100%, I guarantee you I wouldn't have what I have now, because the mentality wasn't right. So me chasing money was only gonna make my life maybe more harder, more complicated, because I would be so stressed and after something that like it's a material,
Yeah.
you know. But being more on the clear picture, I know what I want, I know what I'm doing things for. Like it like money's just a byproduct of the things that I do.
There you go.
So if I know for a fact what I'm doing and I'm really actually genuinely helping people, it's gonna come really really big when I really need it down the road.
Yeah.
And I think there's always, like, you can say like we always need money. We're always gonna need money. Money like the problem is never gonna go away. So it doesn't matter right now. Like if you're short on money, if you want more money, you're gonna get it, and you're still gonna have the same problem probably within the next couple months, because you're gonna go there and spend it. So it's always gonna be the problem. It's just like finding what you really need to do with the money. That's really when you start getting it. Sometimes that's when God's like, you know what, you deserve it now. Let me give you more money.
There you go.
Now you have the knowledge. Now there's more opportunities coming your way. So I think that's just the way I think about it.
That's a good perspective. Okay, Nestor, let's go now to the opposite side of the coin, the sweet story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kind of mentioned one of the big challenges once you took over the business.
Mm-hmm.
Since the change, though, or since taking over, what's been now one of the most amazing things that's happened, in either as a consequence from the business, or even if you want to talk just in your life in general?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the best thing honestly was getting married and having kids. That's like like
Okay.
the stages of my life have been like I said, the perfect timing, you can say. I got married right before I got the business, and I got my own place. I had my own truck, and like so many good things started happening. I got a home 2 years ago. My first daughter was born in our new home, and like now I have a son, and like bought my wife her dream vehicle last year. So great things are happening. You can say that's the byproduct of all the hurdles that I've gone through. But you can say it's just a little bit of what's to come. Like it makes me go even harder now that I have a family. I think a lot of things change when you become a parent. I think it really like if before I was working hard, now I was like, damn, dude, like I gotta work even harder because I have a kid now. You know, like I can't let them down. Like I have to put the bar even higher now, because you know, I want to make sure that they grow up. And I'm not that parent that I want to give everything to my kid. Like they have to earn it. Like I'm not gonna be just here you go, because I think that's the worst thing that you can do. I want them to earn it. I'm not gonna be that parent that will be like, oh, here you go, like buy you everything. No, like you're gonna work for it the same way I work for it. And something that I learned from was Shaq with his son. I mean, Shaq. I mean, he has all the money in the world, you can say. His son would ask for so many things. And then I remember when Shaq in a podcast, he said, like, you know what, like, I'm rich. You're not rich. I'm rich. And the son obviously got a little offended. He's like, what do you mean, dude? Like you're my dad. He's like, yeah, I'm your dad, but it doesn't mean that you have my money. I earned it, you know? So you have to earn it now. If you want to earn it, I'm going to show you how you can earn it, but I'm not going to just be giving you money, you know? So I think that's where, like, I watched that before I became a parent, and I'm like, you know what, that's the best way to do it, because sometimes as a dad now, you're like, I want to have my child have all the things I never had. But I mean, why would you do that? Just imagine if my dad gave me everything he didn't have, I wouldn't be here today.
That's true.
I'd be working probably, I don't know where, but I wouldn't be here, because when you struggle, when you earn things, like it makes you go work harder for them. Because if I just give something away, you don't know what it took to get that. So that's the way I'm.
You don't value it as much.
You don't value it as much. So that's the way I'm with my kids. I mean, my daughter's, like I said, 21 months. And like the routine that we do is for her to adapt faster. So we read books. So she knows that, hey, you know, you got to read books. We like my wife buys her like a little mop and like a broom and stuff. So she be walking like around the house with that, like because she knows that that's the chore that she should be doing. So we do so many things that we want to make sure that that's something that they get used to.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't be as easy without my wife because she's the one that like she's actually she went to school for teaching as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's a teacher. She was a teacher for a private school. So when I got the business, when we had our first child, I told her that she's no longer gonna work. She's gonna help me with my business, and she's gonna be taking care of home. You know, so that has helped us so much with our daughter, and now with our son. Like the things that she's learned at a private schools is like the education that they give the kids. Like she knows what to do to our kids now. So it helps them get more advanced with time, and it's just those little details you do from being a parent when they're really small that really helps you hopefully guide in the right direction at least.
Yeah. At least they have a strong foundation. Whether or
Exactly.
not they want to follow it down
Yeah,
the line,
that's a
that'll be
whole
on
different
them.
story, but yeah, I'm not that parent that I'm gonna be like here you go, son. No,
Yeah.
you gotta go earn it.
Right. I like that, man. Right on. That's good to hear. And, I was telling you a little off air how, you know, I mean, being married, there's always that possibility of having a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's kind of one of the purposes of
yeah,
marriage
yeah, yeah.
is to have kids. And so, I mean, I don't know what the future holds for us,
Mhm.
but that's definitely one of the things that
Yeah,
I take to heart, where at the end of the day, as a parent, it's your job to hopefully create a better version of yourself.
yeah, yeah,
That's the ultimate goal.
yeah, 100%. And like I said, like when you become a parent, I think I had a daughter, so I think the sweet spot probably came out of me more. You can say like at first I'm like I can't really picture having a daughter. I'm like not really that kind of dad. But now it's like my wife when she found out we're having a son. She's like, you know what? I can't imagine you being a boy dad. Like you're just a girl dad. You're such a big girl dad. Like I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give him the same love I gave my daughter. But she says that like like you having a daughter I think was actually a good thing because
Mm,
I guess without even realizing like so many things changed in the way maybe attention to detail you can say
okay.
like that changed for in a good way. So there was a lot of good changes that came from that. So
Yeah.
I think it was really really good. But yeah, I always tell people when the moment I had my daughter was like my life changed. I felt complete. I'm like I
Wow.
felt complete. Have the wife, I have my parents, my siblings, I have a home, I have a business. Like I felt complete. But for a couple minutes, I'm like, okay, I feel complete. But now you gotta work harder because now like there's no plan B. Like you have to make this work.
Yeah.
No time to sit down and relax. Because all that hard work, like it took you somewhere, but it can come down as well the moment you stop working for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, man. Man. Well, we'll see. We'll see, how soon we end up having kids. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much the end of the show. I have, think, like two more quick questions
Go
for you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Second to last question is music related.
Okay.
I'm a huge music geek. I know a lot of music. I don't know a lot of artists. Like, I recognize a lot of songs.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I'll still get the occasional song where I'm like, wow, how have I never heard
Heard
this
this song.
song? Yeah. And it ends up being like a super popular song.
Yeah.
But anyways, the question is, if you had to choose your current life soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
what song would that be for you right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I never really thought about it. Few of the songs that like listening to, and it kind of like you can say it kind of reflects my life. Um, and it's not because it's like more like things I normally tell myself in a personal level. It's like the song is the I forget who sings it. It's called "All I Do Is Win."
Is it the
DJ Khaled, I think,
yeah? All I
maybe.
do is
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
win,
yeah, yeah.
win, no
But
matter
that's
what.
that's what I tell my mind every single day. I'm like, all I do is win because I wake up, I have a family, and all I do is win. So that's one of the songs, and then the other ones are "We're Taking Over." I forget who sings that too, but it's like I always tell myself too, like, we're taking over, we're taking over, we're taking over the city, we're taking over the U.S., we're gonna take over globally. But it's those two songs, like they're always on my playlist. I listen to them on a daily, and they're songs that really like get the best out of me. Like I think I feel something inside of
You're
me
like
that
they pump you up.
yeah, it pumped me up. Like it's like it reminds me of let's say I'm going through something and I just hit that song on and they all we do is win, and it's because no matter how ugly the things are that you're going through, you're winning because you're alive. You have a roof, you have a car. That's what I consider winning.
Nice.
Aside from all the material things, that's winning to me. Hmm.
Yeah. I really, really like that. And that gave me a whole new perspective on that song. Currently, whenever I hear that song, it reminds me of a friend of mine uh, who, I mean, I'd say they're pretty athletic, but
Hmm.
they don't really do sports,
Okay.
but they they went ahead and shot like I think it was like a 3-pointer.
Uh huh.
And it was like the perfect timing because they throw it and they had that song playing in the background. You know the part where it says like
Oh.
everybody hands
Yeah,
go up.
up and I
So
made
and so yeah,
it.
so they put their hands up. But I like your meaning behind it better. But
And I mean, at the end, I'm when it comes to music, I'm universal. Like I listen to everything. It depends where I'm going and what I want to listen to, depending like if I'm going on a flight, if I'm going on a road trip. When we go on a road trip, like I normally like listening to country.
yeah,
Like I love nature. I love nature, and I think that's something that really, really like soothes me, like relaxes me when we're just going through the woods and just country. Like it just feels good. If it's more adrenaline, then maybe like the gym, I always put like hip hop or like I put like songs like that.
there you go.
Rock, I'll hear here and there, like when I'm working out, depending on what I'm working out. And same thing with like Mexican music, like I'll listen to them as well. Like I like listening to all kinds of music.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. As you should. Okay, man. Well, I mean, that's pretty much the podcast there.
Okay. Awesome.
Last question is where can people continue following your
Hmm.
journey?
I'm the Nestor Gutierrez on all platforms on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and my business is Rancho Express Loop Inc. Same thing on all platforms. Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll have all that in the description.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Nestor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
It's been a pleasure, chatting it up with you. Um, yeah, I mean, I hope that the people,
Hmm.
out there got some sort of value from
Hmm.
this episode. There was quite a few nuggets that I'm taking away. So I would like to encourage the audience that if you did find some sort of value in this conversation, please consider subscribing so we could bring more awesome guests like Nestor onto the show, sharing more of their experience, their knowledge. And at the end of the day, we're just here to try to help each other out and become our best versions of
100%.
ourselves.
I agree with that.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you in the next one.